Hey guys, it's newest episode of Hallmark Heartbeats podcast, and today is very special because we are interviewing Melinda Michael, who played Julia Gilmour from Fit for a Prince. Thank you so much for joining us, Melinda. I mean, first of all, you're so pretty. I know I already said that before, but like you're so pretty. I love your hair. You gotta like share a secret on your hair care.
Thanks for having me, Camille and Brittany. I'm so honored to be here. And yes, I do have super curly hair. They did straighten it for the filming, but naturally I have the curls here.
Oh my God, it's so pretty. But for our listeners, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Melinda Michael. I'm an actress in film and television theater. I also do video games and voiceover work. You can catch me in Fit for a Prince, where I play the role of Julia Gilmour. A little bit about my acting background. I actually started when I was really young doing musical theater. I went to the Shakespeare School. I did a lot of dance and music performances, and then I segued into film and TV, and it's such a passion of mine, and I just love it. I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do.
What kind of musicals did you do?
Oh, so many different things. The Wiz, Once on This Island, Chicago. We did a musical version of a few Shakespearean plays. Actually, since my first solo was when I was in grade 2. in a Christmas play that we did, a musical. And then more recently I just have been focusing on film and TV. I acted in some awesome shows. I'm so blessed to be able to do that. Like The 100, Murdoch Mysteries, Rain,
nice.
Hemlock Grove on Netflix, and it's led me to where I am today.
Yeah. So basically, you've lived my dream life.
She wants to be an actress.
I don't want to be an actress anymore. I feel like I'm getting a little too old for that.
No, it's never too old. Don't say it's never too old.
I wrote my first play in the 5th grade, and I acted all through high. I had planned to go to Juilliard. Things got in the way, and then I still act in like college stuff now. I'm in my 30s, but
so that's amazing. Like, as long as you get to be doing it in some capacity, even if it's like community theater or something, I think that still just makes our hearts happy, and
I love it. The stage makes me feel, I don't know, when I'm on a stage, you just get, you get this feeling of just an overwhelming just joy you get from it. So.
When I interviewed Malcolm Jamal Warner last year, he told us that with his very first play, it became like an addiction. But he got all the like standing ovation after the curtain call and everything. He was like, I want more of this.
I know, it's such a high. It's like a high off life, especially doing something live and there's people there watching. And I love the feeling of knowing that I've impacted someone and touched them or moved them emotionally and contributed to their life in that way. And it's just so special.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, this was your first Hallmark movie?
This was my debut for Hallmark. Yes.
Oh, how was it working for Hallmark? What was the audition process? What were your first impressions of the script? Not only the script, but your character, Julia, as well.
Sure. Okay, where to start? Working with Hallmark, it was a dream. I've been for many years now waiting for the chance to be on a Hallmark movie, and it finally came true for me. And I couldn't have asked for a better role, playing a member of a royal family. I've been picturing that, as being a part of my acting career, and getting to play a character as a British accent too. So when I first saw the breakdown and got the audition, I was overjoyed, and I felt like, you know what, I have a good, strong chance with this opportunity. I know I can do it. And thanks to all my years of watching Harry Potter growing up, I have a British accent in my back pocket, just like that.
It was good. I didn't know that you were not British when I watched it, so it was great.
Well, it's funny you say that, because even when I had my first phone call with our director, Marita, who's wonderful to work with too, and we had our brief over the phone before we met in person, and I answered the call and was like, hello, and there was just this silence. I was like, hello, and she's like, you're not British. acting.
Oh,
Yeah.
very, very well.
Yeah, so I fooled a few people on set, so that's great. But yeah, so I got the audition and did it self-tape style because of COVID. A lot of actors were
Oh
not
yeah.
from home. So I prepared 3 scenes for that character and sent that in. And thanks to the casting director, Ron Leach, I was offered the part. And working with Hallmark, it felt like a big family. The production company specifically, they do a lot of Hallmark films, and everyone had just already a harmonious feeling. They work together regularly, so I felt like I was into already that environment that was so warm and welcoming. And and to play Julia was just so fun, especially because for some, in movies, Hallmark specifically, there might not be an opportunity for a character such as myself, who isn't one of the top leads, to have such a character arc. And I really appreciated that about Julia's character, where she had such a change of heart, from being the very sneaky, not so nice, jealous, kind of third member of the love triangle there. And then by the end really softened her heart and just wanted Ronan to be happy and have his happily ever after. And she was independent enough to know that she would get, the person that was right for her and her own Prince Charming. So I hope they do a sequel of it. And
Julia, we were talking about that last week, how much we loved her arc. It's one of my favorite parts was the fact that she had the turnaround, because we so rarely see that. The women who are the bullies or other women end up being these villains, and I hate that. To see that she saw her own self. I really enjoyed that.
It was really fun for me to play that, and especially when I approached the character of Julia, I did take that into consideration, where I didn't want to play her so cold and so prim and proper that the audience and viewers wouldn't feel a connection with her and that they would just hate her. I wanted her to be likable, and for people to actually feel a little torn between, do we want Cindy or what about Julia, and for it not to just be so easy that it's one or the other, that I wanted people to really feel connected with her.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't want to be like cheering on one person while tearing down another. That's just horrible, especially when it's women. Like, you don't want to be tearing down women kind of thing. What was your favorite scene to film and why?
Ooh, my favorite one was, if you remember, I was out in the garden and I did a phone call.
Yes.
Cindy, and it was my first big prank that I was pulling on her, where I told her that we had decided we were going to dress very casually for this grand ball, and she, so that she would show up being extremely underdressed. And I don't really know what it was about that scene, but I just had so much fun doing it. And I think because in real life, I'm quite nice and friendly and approachable, and so to have a scene where I really got to dig deep into being
a horrible person.
It was just so fun, and it felt like I was taking control of that scene, and I had my big plan and was conspiring against her, and it was just fun to play that and fool her.
We were saying, and you commented on it when the sprinklers went on, and we were like, Julia did that.
Julia would do, yep.
Julia somehow has to do with the controls of the sprinkler. You can't tell me that it's not it didn't just automatically go on.
You're looking out the window.
Definitely a missed opportunity. Definitely.
It really was. It was just a sneaky thing. But do you have any behind the scenes tidbits? Like, did you guys? How did you get really close with any of the actors?
Oh yeah, we really, really bonded. It how to say, they're working on a film is different than having guest appearance in, say, one episode of a TV show, because we spend more time together. So we really got to bond, and showing up to set every day, I felt like they were my family at the time. And yeah, I've stayed in touch with all of them, especially Rebecca LaMarche,
Yes.
who plays the daughter of the Hamilton family. And yeah, we stayed in touch a lot too, and just with everyone. Everyone was so amicable and friendly and great to work with, and I learned a lot from watching them work on set too. Especially Ronan and Cindy's characters, is their seasoned actors, series leads from other shows, and getting to watch them really just showcase their craft in such a beautiful way. I learned a tremendous amount, and so every day on set I was learning and having fun, and digging deep into my character as well for Julia.
So we have to talk about fashion. Obviously, this was a very fashion-centered design movie, and I loved the wardrobe personally. I want to wear every single dress that was featured. So what was who was the real designer here, and what was it like to wear all of these beautiful gowns?
Yeah, well, I have the wardrobe department to thank for that. They collected all the designs for what each of our characters were wearing, and I really loved what they selected. When I showed up, and before we started filming, we have what we call a costume fitting, so trying on an assortment of different options for my character, and they narrowed down along with the director and producers what they ended up deciding for Julia to wear, and I was so happy. But everything they had prepared was just beautiful, and so it was an assortment of designers. I believe several of them were Calvin Klein dresses, actually, and costume wardrobe. It really does help me as an actor get into character. I feel a lot more immersed in the character when I'm wearing the costume pieces and really stepping into her shoes, like literally. So it's helpful to have something that actually feels so in alignment with what my character would wear. They were really spot on, and I loved. I wanted to take those dresses home.
I want those dresses at my home.
I love the ballroom, the last dress that you wore with the like jeweled neckline and stuff. It was just so beautiful. Pretty. It was just so pretty. One of my favorite things about Julia is, like we already mentioned, is the turnaround that you guys had when they came to, like, she was a bully at first, and she was like the prankster and stuff like that. She saw her wrongs and redeemed herself by the end of the movie. Well, what did you most like about Julia, and what was it? What was like your? I guess what was it like playing that turnaround, that switch?
Oh, it was interesting because there were many qualities that Julia has that I resonate with personally. She's very tenacious. She's very goal oriented. She knows what she wants and isn't afraid to go after it. And then, but maybe a little bit to her own detriment, that she was probably pushing some people or Ronan away from her because she wasn't as open-hearted and carefree in her spirit, and as Cindy's character, and that obviously was something he was attracted to. But for me, it was playing with that arc. It, as an actor, when I approached the script, I broke it down in such a way that I was pinpointing where along in the journey were those transitions happening, on what lines, what beats, and what scenes, so that I could see the progression of what was the moment when her heart took that shift, and she went from being the cunning and duplicitous Julia to someone who actually felt like by the end, I think, that she wanted to be Cindy's friend. And it gave her a very redeeming quality. And and it's funny because a lot of people that have watched the movie they've messaged me privately and said, you know, the Julia we see at the end, we really got to see Melinda shine through there. So maybe I got to layer her a bit with me and bring her to life in that way. And yeah, it was just so fun because as I said, it's not often you get to have such a turnaround with an objective of what a character wants, you know, to go from scheming against her to befriending her by the end. And yeah, hopefully the viewers liked that.
I did. I loved that in the beginning we were not fans of her, and then by the end, you're right. You know, I wanted to be friends with her. Like, oh, I love her. You know.
Yeah. I like the vulnerability that she had at the end, where she was like, "Look, you're not who I want." You know, and you get to have your happily ever after, and now I get the chance to as well.
And I love that you use that word vulnerability to you're really right, because you know, even though she's very strong, she's independent, you know, she still is an emotional being, and when she sees someone that she loves or perceived to love, you know, falling in love with someone else, that hurts. And you know, she is sensitive too, and you know, to show her vulnerability in such a way, I think that's what it means to be human, right? And to soften, and the fact that she accepted that, but still was composed enough to, you know, be courageous and say, you know, don't worry, you have your happily ever after, and I've got my eyes on someone now. She had a little bit
absolutely
of game on by the end, but you know, she hadn't given up totally. She's still always up for a challenge, so I like that about her. She's like, okay, on to the next.
Yeah, I love that. We touched on this a little bit already, but would you do another Hallmark movie? And I know you said this was a storyline that you absolutely loved, but is there any other storylines that you would want to be a part of?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to do more and more Hallmarks. They're just such feel-good, happy movies filled with hope, and I'm all about spreading those kind of messages. I was thinking about, I would love to see on Hallmark Channel more stories about immigrant families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Racial relationships.
Yeah.
That's something that's very prevalent in my life in both capacities, being from a family that is of such mixed ethnicity, and then also my partner is on the other side of the world right now in India, and I just think it would be so helpful to portray stories of what many relationships look like in our current society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, how we're living nowadays. So I think to represent that would be fantastic, and it should be represented.
Yeah.
I feel like Hallmark has finally become more diverse in their storyline, because honestly, you know, it's just they finally had gay couples being featured in their movies.
Yes, they're really turning around and taking action on making that happen. And so I would love to be a part of that. And one of my friends, Alvina August, she had a leading role in a Hallmark over Christmas, and she was one of the first Black female leads on Hallmark too. And it's just, I want more of this.
Yeah, so much more. Just let's. They're doing better, but let's just keep it up. Just keep growing and growing.
Exactly.
I've actually been saying for the past couple of years, I would love Hallmark to do a Christmas movie in Hawaii. Mostly because they always do Christmas with snow and everything else. And I'm sitting there going, like, you can have it anywhere, even without snow, and it still has that same miracle, happiness, feeling, love, whatever. You know, I feel like Hawaii would be perfect. Yeah. But maybe it's just me because I want to be part of Hallmark. What if I'm when they're filming? Like, hi.
We got one this year where I live. There was a Hallmark movie shot here in Carson. I think it was called Feliz Navidad with Mario Lopez.
Oh, that's so awesome.
You can see my apartments in it, and I'm like, oh, that's where I live.
Oh. That's so cool. I love seeing movie sets when they're happening. Even though I work in the industry, I still get just as excited walking by. Part of me is like, oh, I wish I could, you know, even just do a background part right now. I just want to be on set as much as possible and learning and growing in
I actually accidentally walked on set of Lost when it was still taping here.
Accidentally got lost on Lost.
Well, they were filming on the beach in Haleiwa, and I just happened to keep walking the pathways of the beach, and then it was like, oops, hi.
Here I am.
So good. Yeah, and I guess thinking about it more too in terms of like a character, this just hit me right now. That one thing that my takeaway from Julia too is when she admitted at the end that she was more in love with the idea of being with a prince in her relationship and not so much him, right?
Prince, yeah.
What just piqued my curiosity right now as I'm thinking about that is it'd be so fun to play a character that has something similar where they're attached to the idea of something and pursue it, but maybe in the process of pursuing it, coming to a different realization of what they really want in life.
Yeah.
And because I think that's such a common scenario that happens to us, maybe
Absolutely.
we think we want, say in terms of work, like I want to pursue this vocation, and you go to school, you study it, you maybe do a co-op, whatever it is, and you get there and you're like, sometimes we're like, oh, that's not what I was expecting it to feel like. And it's like, what do I do in that situation? Like, do I start again? That's scary. I spent all this time pursuing this path. Am I going to be kind of going backwards now? And I mean, we never really are. One journey leads to another, and it's all preparation for our big purpose in life.
Yeah.
But something about maybe that would be fun too, because it's something that happens.
I've seen Hallmark do a couple of movies to that, and I actually like those kind of movies where it feels like the character has a plan, it has a goal, it has a ending that they have in mind, and then somehow or another, like something gets introduced to them, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like any where a character goes on a self-discovery to find themselves, and it right along those lines, they realize that this is what I thought I wanted, but this is not who I really am. This is not who I really want. I enjoy movies.
That's the word that was coming to my mind, was the self-discovery journey. Yeah, I'm all about that, on screen and off screen.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any questions for us or anything else to add?
What was your maybe favorite moment of the movie, or scene, or character?
God.
To your perspective.
Oh gosh, I liked. I do like your character. I like your character, but I also like the grandmother.
I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say. The
grandmother is like hilarious, and also like very upfront in like no foolishness and stuff like that. And I feel like she stands out among the Hamiltons. I don't know what her background is, but it doesn't feel like she's high class, uppity kind of person like the rest of the Hamiltons were. And I liked her. She was kind, and she was very giving to Cindy as well and stuff.
A little sassy.
Yeah, looking out for her. And so that actress, Mary Long, is who played Virginia. And let me tell you, she is such a hoot. Even between scenes, on her lunch breaks, I was laughing and laughing. It was hard to keep a straight face with her because she's just so whimsical, and she says what's on her mind.
I like it. Yeah. She's my favorite. She's probably my favorite character as well. I liked the whole casual wear scene with her and Cindy, where she was just like, I wish I could dress like that. Just kind of like taking the mood down. Like, don't freak out that you're in jeans and a t-shirt. It's fine. I wish I could be wearing jeans and a t-shirt right now. Yeah, I liked her a lot.
One of my favorite lines by the grandmother was when she said, all of the money we are spending on planning this party, we could just go and give it to the charity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is so true, because I mean, like you're probably spending more money than you are raising it. You know what I mean? If you're like spending all this money on like custom ball gowns and chocolate fountains and everything else. All of that could just be like, here's the check for the charity, you know what I mean?
Very true. I love you said that too, and I saw that in the script. I was like, yes, go Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I actually saw the actress Mary Long on A Veteran's Christmas, and she also played like an aunt in that movie too, and she was kind of funny too in that movie. But anyway, I love seeing all the actresses and actors from like previous Hallmark movies come back, kind of thing.
I'm excited to see what's next for me. I did film something in February, so viewers
Ooh.
can have a look. I'm not allowed to announce
Is it Hallmark still, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be seeing something by the end of the year with me in it.
Ooh. Is it gonna? Are you gonna be a main character?
It's actually similar, kind of the third girl love triangle. Found my niche, but I'd love to play a leading lady in a Hallmark upcoming soon.
That would be so fun. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it is.
I know.
Yes.
And you're gonna have to come back then when it releases. We're gonna hold
I'd be happy to. This has been so fun. And one other thing too that just came to mind that might be fun for viewers to hear was a fun little behind the scenes moment. So if you remember, okay, there's the one scene when we're everyone is gathered together in what I call the castle, but their home. And we're playing this game that Prince Ronan wanted.
The ball.
All come together and
the card game, yeah.
The card game, and there was a ping pong ball, and we were laughing. We were like, what kind of a game is this? But me and Rebecca Lamarche, who played Brooke Hamilton, when we went up and had a face off at the center of the circle, that was completely candid what happened, where she caught the ping pong ball. I don't know how she did it. Like, it just landed and stuck on her collarbone. And the look of surprise that we both had, like, that was just a genuine, authentic reaction. So I just thought that'd be funny to share too.
I love that.
It was so confusing because when Rhoda and Cindy got together, nobody was playing the ball. They were like walking around in circles or something. I don't know what was going on. I was like, what? Did the rules change?
Yeah. I don't know what games Ronan comes up with in his spare time, but that was we're glad we made it into the final cut of the film, because you never know what takes they're going to use when you're filming in the final product. So that the looks on our faces there were totally real.
That is
nice.
That's so funny.
It's a fun scene, so I like that. I like that little tidbit.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Pleasure. This was wonderful. Thank you so much for asking me and bringing me onto your podcast. And I wish you all the best, and look forward to hearing more of your interviews.
Thank you. And we will see you in a couple of months when your movie gets released.
Yes, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Melinda, for joining us for this podcast. It was such an honor to have you on the podcast with us.
Yes.
Can't wait to talk to you again, hopefully when your next movie releases, because I mean, like, that would be so awesome if we get to actually.
Oh my God. I can't wait. I can't wait. And from now on, don't call her Melinda. She's friend of the podcast, Melinda.
That is too funny. Okay, so then next week starts Spring Fling series for Hallmark. Next week will be Chasing Waterfalls, starring Cindy Busby and Christopher Russell. Cindy plays Amy, who's a photographer in search of this waterfall, as she meets Christopher Russell's character, who is a guide, and they fall in love in the search for this waterfall. And then the 27th is Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Pave and Italia Ricci. And Miranda runs a boot camp for the recently brokenhearted. She begins to form a connection with the new client, Ben, who is also a reporter investigating whether her boot camp is a fad or phenomenon. So that's the storyline for Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Is she runs a boot camp. He's an investigative reporter and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's gonna be fun. Okay, so this so everything, the wrap of everything. You can listen to the podcast on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, TuneIn, Alexa, and Amazon Prime. We're still working on iHeartRadio. We also have a YouTube channel, Hallmark Heartbeats. Please go buy us a coffee. We started a Buy Me a Coffee account, which will be, you can go buy us a coffee for like $5. It all goes to the podcast or whatever. And then all of this is on our link tree, which is in the biography, in our bio. I set up a link tree for the podcast so that we don't have like 10 links for people to know and stuff like that. Also, we have Twitter, which is Hallmark Heartbeat1. I tried to make it Heartbeats, but for some reason, I guess it was too long for it to be Heartbeats. But then there is Instagram, which is Hallmark Heartbeats. That's about it. Do you have anything else to add?
Not today. And hey, only buy us a coffee if you really want to, and you're financially able to. We're not trying to force you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cute though.
But we would appreciate a coffee.
And also, we're gonna be actually recording an extra podcast. So this week, right, for October Kiss.
Yeah.
So if you guys buy us a coffee, you access it on buymeacoffee.com/Hallmark Heartbeats. So more incentive to go buy a coffee. Anyway, that's about it for now. Tune in next week, and this is Camille.
This is Brittany.
And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.